Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Mias and welcome to the Melffy deck review. So, the guy who actually submitted this is literally the Melffy god himself. I'm pretty sure his name is like Melffy. Anyways, if you comment on the video, I'm gonna pin and heart your comment as always. And I mean, if you want your deck list to be reviewed by me, a certified deck doctor for Duelist Academy, all you have to do is join my Discord server and then pretty much either send me a screenshot or the YD I think it's YDK file. That would help me out a lot personally, and I would greatly appreciate that. But before we start, friendly reminder to like and subscribe, because it motivates me a lot to keep making videos like these, and I took enough of your time. Let's get into it. So he's actually opting to play 2 Zooking Alpha. I can understand why. So initially, I was kind of confused why the Zooking Alpha was in this deck, but then I realized, like, even despite the fact that you can return back your other Beast Warrior to bounce back a huge amount of monsters, but I want to say probably one of the main reasons why Zooking Alpha is here is because of Kathy, which allows you to search a beast monster from your deck when your opponent normals or special summons a monster or targets an attack, targets one of your Melffys for attack. Is it Melffy or, oh no, it's this card specifically. So, I mean, it's a really nice card, the fact that you can search it, but is 2 the right number, or should it actually be dropped down to 1? That's the only kind of doubt that I had personally, and this is one of the very small changes that I brought to the deck, because honestly, this looks like a really clean and optimized deck list, man. Hats off to you. This, I'm not even gonna pretend like I know Melffy more than you, so most of this is just based off my general knowledge on the game and not even my knowledge of Melffy, because I played against the deck like 5 or 6 times, but that's it. Anyways, for the hand trap, he's opting to play 9, and they are pretty high impact hand traps. Well, Ash is just versatile. But Droll and Gamma are pretty big, so I like that. And he's also playing the Omega in case the Gamma actually resolves on your own turn. And the odds of that happening are higher than you think, because Rescue Cat actually, I think it sends... Yeah, okay, Rabbit is banished for cost and Cat is send to grave for cost. So by the time your opponent can Ash this, you can also Gamma his Ash. So that's like a 10-in-1. It's the best value ever, man. They lose another card, so if they have Nibiru, nah, you might actually hit the Nibiru. 25% chance. Not that bad, not that bad. But yeah, and also he's only playing 1 Ecclesia and 1 Fleur. I love this so much, because the thing is, Disciple Nadir or Nadir Servant, whatever, can also recycle back from your graveyard to your hand, which is one of the reasons why it's actually, it's the reason why it's Ghost Bellable. But yeah, I really like this, because honestly, otherwise they would have been bricks. And on top of that, the guy thought of everything. He's even playing El Mirage. So on top of protecting yourself from, I don't know, punishment and stuff like that, you also always have access to a monster special summon from the extra deck, so your Ecclesia can be summoned, like special summoned, on top of having your normal summon dedicated for other things. Absolutely fantastico. 1 Hop Ear Squadron. Now, I actually know why people play this card. It's because you can quick sync into Herald of the Arclight during your opponent's turn, and this is a level 2 beast that you can search again with Cathy, either if you want to interrupt your opponent with Cathy or Puppy, because Puppy special summons from the deck. So the main goal is actually to summon Calentosa and then pop a card your opponent controls, but with Cathy you can actually search the Hop Ear and then make the Herald. So I mean, you just have so many options. The one issue is that the Melffy monsters, they aren't the most proactive, so if you're playing against like a trap deck, all these cards don't really do much. You know, Calentosa also doesn't do much, but a Hop Ear to a certain extent is the most proactive in a way, which I like a lot, so pretty nice. Now, this is the one card that I also understand why you play. It's just I'm not the biggest fan, because a deck like Melffy, and especially since this is like a control build, I don't think it's super reliable to always summon this, especially since you're probably fighting from behind on the early turns. So if on top of that you have a really bad brick like Apex Avion, which by the way has a 1 chance out of 7 to be drawn in like okay, the one thing that I know is that going first you have a 12.5% chance to draw it, and going second you have a 15% chance to draw it. So are you really going to risk it with a card like Apex Avion? I'm not too sure, but yeah, I mean, I would personally cut this card, because I think it's just more of a win more. If you can already summon a bunch of monsters, well, you probably, well, with your Tri Brigade, for example, you have like probably better options. Like even the Double Dragon Lords is actually a really good card that you can summon. It's an interruption, and then, you know, at this point you might as well just OTK your opponent, so I'm not the biggest fan. But apart from that, also Rescue Cat is such a good card in this deck, man. It's insane. Not even playing the Naturia Beast though. I like it. He's not trying to play useless bricks in his deck, not a single level 3 beast, and obviously this is not an Earth anyways, so yeah, no way he can make Naturia Beast with Obedience School or with Rescue Cat, which is a-okay. Anyways, moving forward, we actually have 2 of each of the level 2 and 1 Tri-Brigade monsters, so this is nice. The kit is really cool in this deck. And it's also an El Mirage target, so you can easily send the Navel and then search for Ceres and then pitch something, special summon it, and then banish like 2-3 monsters from your graveyard and just have a bunch of plays at your disposal. But I like the fact that he's not committing to 3 ofs because that would just make your deck more bricky. So obviously he took the time to actually look into optimizing this deck instead of just throwing me a random deck list with like 3 ofs, 3 ofs, 3 ofs with no logic. So I really like this. It's really clean. And also one of the Melffy hide and seek. Usually I wouldn't play a card like this, but it's actually searchable by, I think it's, yeah, exactly. It's Excited Melffys or Joyous Melffys. So this card can search just any Melffy card. No, sorry, I'm actually really stupid. It's actually Melffy of the Forest that searches any Melffy card. They kind of look similar, honestly. It's just like an abstract painting or something. Even them, it's just, what are you killing your opponent with? Like with cuteness, that's it. It's basically cuteness control. But hide and seek is it's really similar to Prank Kids. I think no, not Place. Basically the Daigusto on end phase. Yes, because it's not like you instantly get the draw like on the spot. You only get your advantage back on end phase, and it's not as cool as the Prank Kid continuous spell because you also don't have an effect to generate a monster on the field. It just protects your monsters from being destroyed by battle or by card effect, I think. Oh no, sorry, only by card effect the first time, but for each of them. So that's also kind of nice. And one notable thing about this is that it actually protects your monsters from Rescue Cat and Obedience Schooled like secondary conditions, but at the same time, the monsters that you summon, they do get negated. So that's also something that is kind of a bummer, honestly. It would have been nice if they get like unnegated on the end phase, but nay. Anyways, 3 Nadir, just even more like starters to your deck, which is nasty, man. You have Rescue Cat, Nadir, Obedience Schooled, which is like the most broken out of all of them. Summon 3 monsters from your deck. That's like very healthy and fair card design. Why would anyone ever complain about that? And of course, the one punishment because it's searchable by Ecclesia. And now for the extra deck, Elder Entity Entis, Access Code, yes. Double Dragon Lords because it's summonable by the thingies. You're never going to search a an Ancient Warrior monster because you're never going to actually link summon it, but even then, you don't really have to link summon this card. Even if you want to play the level 7 Ancient Warrior monster, just the bounce effect is already good enough. And then El Mirage, Simorgh, Bird of Sovereignty, so you can summon that Apex Avian. Then Tri-Brigade, Fenrir, the Baron Blossom, or whatever the name is. Yeah, I guess it summons from your hand. Oh, Ominous Omen, I love this card, man. The Link 4 that actually banishes without targeting. It's an Auto Dragoon. Zuking Alpha is also an Auto Dragoon, by the way. Then Herald, Omega, Zeus, Downward Magician, so you can actually have an additional material on your Zeus. As well as Joyous Melffy's Melffy of the Forest, which is a searcher. Ooh, this one is sick. Number 64, Ronin Raccoon Sandayu. I remember this from 2014 back when, what was the... Baby Raccoon was actually a playable deck to a certain extent. Like a deck that you can actually win locals with consistently if you're a good player. That was so adorable, man. This card was actually kind of scary though, not gonna lie. Imagine if the deck had Zeus back in the days. Woo! And Sky Cavalry Centauria. Now, I know this card really well and I love it. It's basically kind of like a Marshmelon as long as you have Xyz material. And at the end of the damage step, you can detach wind material for kind of like a compose, but only for your opponent, which is really nice. And yeah, I mean, it allows you to make Zeus kind of freely. You know how rank 1 monsters, like for Drytrons, they would play the Lyrillus to attack directly and then make Zeus. So even if your opponent has a bunch of huge monsters, you can still make Zeus. Sky Cavalry is basically the way you do that. And also, I think Joyous Melffys allow you to attack your opponent directly or something like that. All of your Melffy monsters can attack directly. I don't know, I mean, it's cute, but is it good? And I mean, its secondary effect to like tag out and summon back monsters from the graveyard is absolute insanity though. I really like this. You can summon back Calantosa and then pop. Yeah, Calantosa is sick, on top of being cute. Sonic the Hedgehog. Anyway, side deck, 3 Lancia, 3 Ghost Bell. Ghost Bell's really good, man. You can counter Ice Dragon's Prison because obviously everything in your deck is beast, so you don't really want to lose to that. And then Nibiru because of, you know, all of those special summon decks, just so many now. And what I really like is that you're not just playing Nibiru, you're playing Nibiru with like 9 other hand shops, so this Nibiru will always shut down your opponent's turn. It's not like your opponent would be able to play through 2 hand shops, because Nibiru plus almost any other hand trap is basically game. Through Appaloosa, through whatever. Because Appaloosa can only negate once per chain. It's not like infinite times, so you can definitely cuck your opponent. Anyways, Lightning Storm and Mystic Mine. Really freaking nice deck list. Now, let's get into my version, which is pretty much almost the same thing. Well, there it is. This is my version, and as you can see, I only changed 2 cards in the main deck and like 1 card in the extra deck. So just to show you how nice of a deck list the guy actually sent me. So huge shout outs to you again, my boy Melffy. And yeah, I mean, all I really did was change the second Zoo King Alpha because you can search it anyways for a Pankratops, which I just feel like is by default inherently mechanically just a better card than Zoo King Alpha, and it's not searchable, so you kind of want to play the one of just because you can access it relatively easily. Well, actually, you can not access it easily, so if you actually draw it, well, you're kind of sacking your opponent with a powerful card, whereas Zoo King Alpha, it's like, you can rely on it a bit more, and if you want to have access to it, you can. So I just feel like this was correct, and then also play Called by the Grave instead of Apex Avion, because I felt like Apex Avion was a win more, but I really want to focus on making my hands a bit less fragile, making them win and play through interruptions better. So I think this actually made sense. And in the extra deck, I actually obviously cut the Simorgh Bird of Sovereignty to add Titanic Lad, because if I have Disciple of Nadir, what I can actually do is send Titanic Lad and then search the Fleur de Lis, and then on end phase, no, sorry, actually that's not the way I should do it. Search the Ecclesia, normal summon and search Punishment, and then on the end phase, search the Fleur de Lis. So one Nadir Servant can actually be do 2 interruptions instead of always having to send the Omega. So if your extra deck isn't too tight, I really recommend playing Titanic Lad. And for the side deck, I didn't change a thing, so that's it for this deck review. Again, huge shoutouts to you, my homie, for this beautiful deck list. And guys, keep just submitting those deck lists for card reviews, because it's always a pleasure for me to do them, and I will try to make them daily or every other day of the week if possible, just so I always have like a fully booked schedule, because it's really fun for me to keep making these videos. But anyways, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace.